I've said it once, so I'm going to have to say it again so they know what I've said it. We've got the Grey Badger.
Thank you.
How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
We've got Robbo, the special one.
Richard.
Oh, Richard's the special one. No, Rob's the special one.
Sorry,
You're
Rob,
the get it right. You're the meat.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know. He doesn't even know his nickname, does he, lads?
Yeah, he's special.
He's really thrown me there, hasn't he?
Sorry.
I had this great big build up for you all, and you just absolutely came and thought, we're not going to let this Brummy get away with it. Originally, Big Rick's channel swim team, now Pip's channel swim team.
That's right.
That's correct, yeah.
Let me come to you first of all, if I may, Gary. Tell us about, and we've got to send our best regards to Rick and his dad, haven't we?
Indeed. Yeah, the team sort of formed when Mark Rickers, our close friend, died whilst coaching someone to swim the English Channel. Mark had already swum the channel himself, and we felt, because of the way he died, it was a good way of raising money for the British Heart Foundation. So things started small. We did a couple of swims down in Bournemouth, peer-to-peer swims. I guess after a few drinks, once we completed that, we thought, let's do something bigger. Let's pull a team together. Let's do the ultimate, the holy grail in swimming, and let's swim the channel.
Tell me a bit about your friend who you so sadly lost and why he was so important to all of you.
Mark was such a great guy, very kind, very generous. He was just such a great guy. It's very difficult to say anything more than how kind and generous he was. Fun to be around, big in stature, big in personality. Hence the name, Big Ricks.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd all got to know each other through Walsall Swimming Club.
Yes.
Mark was a swimmer there. Well, I mean, we've all been associated with Walsall Swimming Club over the years, and that's how we've sort of kept in touch. We've all carried on swimming occasionally, and then obviously when sort of Mark passed away, that's, you know, we just needed to do something, and it's been a great way of us all keeping in touch, and it's great team spirit. As you know, so it's been really good.
Tell me a bit about your personal, thanks Rob, your involvement, Rich.
Well, the reason we're doing the swim this year is for Pip. Pip sadly died last October. She had breast cancer. Obviously, she got secondary cancer. She fought for 2 years to overcome that, and the lads have kindly agreed to actually do the swim in her memory this year, so that's why we're doing it, really.
It is a tremendous thing to come together because you cared for somebody who you lost, and then to raise funds and then to carry on doing it. You know, a lot of people might do it for one-offs, or perhaps 2 or 3, but you've kept going year after year, haven't you?
No, we have a good team spirit. We've all known each other, like Bob just said. We've known each other now for well over 20 years. You know, and that brings a lot to what we're doing. You know. A hell of a lot. Tell me a bit about,
like as I asked earlier on about Rick, tell me a bit more about Pip.
Well, Pip, when she died, she was 44 years old.
No age, is it?
No age at all. She was a fun-loving girl, and she'd be proud of what we're doing now. You know, she would. And I know her family are immensely proud of what we're hopefully going to achieve. You know.
Now, before we talk about this year's swim, take me back a bit, Gary. You know, how did you prepare for that first channel swim? What did you know, or what did you not know at that time?
The thing I guess we knew it wouldn't be easy. We've always swam within the constraints of a swimming pool, so going to open water is quite different. So in terms of conditions, so first thing we did was found a open water swimming club and started getting used to swimming in open water. It's very different. The water's a lot rougher, considerably colder, and that's a major challenge in what we do. Obviously, you can't wear a wetsuit. You don't have that luxury, so we have to go in our trunks and go for it. So the idea was to acclimatise, I guess, is the major factor in what we do to prepare.
Was it that the same feeling for you, Bob?
It was, yeah, it was. It's open water swimming. It's so different to swimming in the swimming pool. It's not all about swimming ability. It's how you cope with the conditions as well, and how you are mentally has an awful lot to sort of do with this. Is you can be beaten even before you get in. You know, which is what we're finding out at sort of the moment.
I understand what you're saying there.
That is the important thing about the team spirit. You know.
Yeah.
We keep each other together. You know, when you're on that boat like we were last year for almost 24 hours, you know, you need to look after each other. And I think that's probably the most important thing about this team.
So take me through. You've decided you're going to raise funds for Pip
Yeah.
in her memory.
Yeah.
A wonderful thing to do. How are you now preparing for the swim? When will it be, and how are you going to prepare for
Well, we
it?
swim in July. When do we swim?
July the 15th.
It's July the 15th, our slot, and that slot is a week slot.
Oh, really?
It's because you have to sit there and wait for the tide to be right, for the weather conditions to be right. So
So it's not just about getting in the shadow band and going down and saying, I'm going to do a swim.
No.
No, it's not just about swimming either. You know, you've got the tides to you've got all the currents, you've got the weather. You know, you're swimming at night. It's a completely different thing. As
So
Bob
how
said.
do you book a slot then? What's this all
The
about?
first thing that you have to do is you have to find yourself a pilot,
Right.
and the pilot obviously has a boat, and you book that slot with him, and then you need to join the Channel Swimmers Association.
Right. So there's quite a lot of administrative work involved in it before you get started.
Indeed.
And also
Yeah,
medicals as well. Is you have to prove yourself fit
Yeah.
and able is to be able to swim, and then you have to go through a process of test swims. Is where for a channel relay it's a 2-hour test swim. If you were doing a solo, then I think it's a 6-hour
swim,
So where would you do that 2-hour test swim, Gary?
We swim in a local pool, Swan Pool down at Samuel Valley, or you
Oh,
can
the
get...
Wasson Pool. That's the posh way of pronouncing it. That's the black country way. Us probably call it Wasson Pool.
Or we've also gone down to Dover.
Right.
And swim. There's a swimmers' beach there. It's a very famous beach that we've been down there and done.
Do you have to book that as well, Gary, or you can just turn up?
There are time slots that you can go down early morning, and there's other. It's like a community. There are
Yeah,
other people. When you get down to Dover, there is a swim community, and there's so many people there with the same goal, ultimate goal.
I mean, what shines out straight away, and when I met you at the Mayor's Awards in Walsall last year with regard to the Sister Dora Awards that you won one of, was your camaraderie. But it sounds like as well, it's not just the camaraderie with your own group, it's these other groups
Indeed.
that you get to
Yeah,
know.
it's a whole community.
definitely-
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've been at Dover, and there's people from Australia, from Mexico, all there ready with the same goal.
Really?
Yeah.
So you prepare, you go down. How often would you go down to Dover in a preparation for this swim?
Probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It's such a distance. You know,
Yeah.
we're fortunate. We've got Swan Pool at Samuel Valley.
Yeah.
We can train there. We are experienced swimmers, so we try and stay away from the sea as much as we can.
So we have to go.
So you have to go in.
have to do it,
That's right. Yeah.
But does that help? I mean, what about the conditions in Wasson Pool? Does that help with regard to the sea, or is it just...
The temperature helps
Yeah.
when it's like this, when it's cold.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like swimming in the
No.
sea. It's completely different. You know, you've got all sorts
I
of
don't think
things
anything
to
can
contend
prepare you for it at the end of the day. Whatever.
with. No, it's completely different. You know, you've got all sorts
I
of
don't
things
think anything
to
can
contend
prepare you for it at the end of the day. Whatever preparation we do, nothing
Yeah.
prepares you for that day.
with. No.
So take me through, once you've got all your preparations done, right, how do you do the swim itself?
It generally starts. Is the tide? I don't know why, but the tide is always right in the early hours of the morning. So it's generally a 1 a.m. start.
Right.
So you go down to the docks and you meet your pilot. You've already done all the preparation there, so you know what you've got to do, where you've got to be on the boat.
Yes.
Is you get all your clobber, and it's like moving house. Everything but the kitchen sink goes on there. All your food and all your warm clothes and things as well. And then the boat then takes you round to Shakespeare Beach. It's pitch black, and the number one swimmer then jumps in the water, swims onto the beach, and there's a spotlight on that one swimmer.
Right.
And then he holds his sort of hand up to say, "Yeah, I'm ready." And then the hooter goes, and he jumps in, and then we just keep swimming and swimming and swimming.
So we do an hour at a time.
An hour at a
An
time.
hour at a time.
Right.
in
So
rotation.
once you finish your hour, how you get out the sea, you back onto the boat,
Thaw out, yeah.
thaw out, and as you're coming in onto the boat, I presume somebody else is diving in.
Somebody
That's right,
jumps in behind that swimmer.
Right.
And then that swimmer gets out, and then you
Yeah.
carry on for your hour.
So that's there's always somebody in
That's
the water.
right.
So
And you're not allowed to touch
Yeah.
each other either. You can't
You can't
touch.
touch.
You have
No.
to stay away from each other.
And there must be all these rules have been drawn up, haven't they? Obviously.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
this is when Captain Webb did
Really?
Captain Webb's rules.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
It's like it's also swimming history, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
You're swimming with Captain Webb and the others have done it, isn't it?
It's well when you go down to Dover and you go to Swimmers Beach.
Yeah.
All the statues are there.
Yeah.
And Captain Webb's looking over you, and
Yeah.
you know, and it is a great, you know, you are part of history, really.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
So have you got to be down there for a whole week, all of you?
We could be down there for a whole week. Hopefully, we'll swim on Monday night.
Yes.
But we probably won't, will we? You know, it's probably going to be going to be Wednesday evening or something ridiculous.
We're at the mercy of the weather, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
You go when the skipper tells you to go. You get a phone call a few hours before. Get your gear together. Go down to the harbour.
Safety's paramount. You know, we have to rely totally on the skipper. He decides if you go. And after that week, if the conditions aren't right, you don't go.
Yeah. And he is the main man, isn't he?
He's the boss.
He's the boss.
Yeah.
He's the gaffer. He's in charge.
He's with last year's swim. He actually called us out just before we were on our way back to Dover, just to point out we are doing a double channel swim.
So you're swimming there and back?
We're swimming to France and back all on the one day, and we did this last year, but we failed by 300 metres, and it was because the weather had deteriorated so badly that we couldn't actually get the tender off the back of the main boat. It's because the fog had come down, we couldn't see the beach, and the pilot said, there is no way that I'm going to release that sort of boat.
And it doesn't seem anything when you're on land in a big city, you're at 300 yards, but when you suddenly think of it in the sea, with fog and darkness...
8-foot waves.
Yeah, 8-foot waves. What does the tender do then, Bob?
He's the tender. He's just basically the little boat that basically is we beach ourselves. Is we swim onto the beach.
Gotcha.
So the actual main boat can't get into. Yeah. So you have to put a little boat down, and that follows you onto shore. But we just couldn't see the beach. There wasn't.
That must have been a tremendous disappointment, Rich.
It was a tremendous disappointment. I think I was the last one in the water, and I was swimming, trying to swim. Obviously the waves were, Gary said, 2 metres high waves, and I saw the skipper come running down the boat, just waving his arm, saying, "That's it, finished."
Yeah.
And it was a relief, to be honest, as well.
Yeah.
Because it was a scary. I think we were all pretty scared at that point.
Indeed,
yeah. It
So,
was.
Well, it takes big men to admit that.
yeah, we were definitely. And one of us was ranting as well.
It happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, the pilot is the guy who was going to go into the tender. Was the pilot's son.
All right.
So there was no way that he was going to risk.
No, his son.
Anybody
at all.
No.
If he's not going to risk his son, he's not going to risk anybody else, is he?
No, absolutely not at all.
And then fair play to him, that was what had to be done, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
So this year you're hoping, Gary, that you will be able to complete the...
Indeed, we are. We're hoping this is our third time we've done it, so third time lucky.
Yeah.
All we need is good weather. That's all we need.
And tell us about what we know who you're raising funds in memory of, but what are you raising the funds for?
We're going to do it for breakthrough breast cancer. They're really more interested in actually why women get breast cancer, research into why they get breast cancer, actually trying to prevent it rather than the actual cure of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for us, because Pip was diagnosed so late, that's what interests us really.
Yeah. It's getting it early enough so that
trying to catch the disease so that they can have whatever needs to be done, so it's early enough. And I think that's what this charity is all about.
And if people want to support you, what should they do, Bob?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do it through the actual Breakthrough Breast Cancer website, which is www.breakthrough.org.uk. We've also set up a Just Giving page as well, which is Pip's Channel Swim Team 2013, and that's on the Just Giving website. And also, our sort of PR machine is quite big.
It's well oiled, isn't it?
It's well oiled, yeah. And if you just Google Big Rick Swim Team, there's
a blog.
Yeah, I mean, your website's fantastic. I looked at that last week, obviously, getting an idea of what you'll be talking about.
It's a humorous look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it is a Mickey take out of each other as well, so
there's also a text one as well, isn't there, guys?
Yeah, you can donate via text to 770, and you type in Pips 91 and an amount that you want to donate.
How much are you trying to... Have you set yourselves targets or not?
I think in 2 years we raised over £30,000 for different, like Heart Foundation and cancer research. So if we can come somewhere near 20 this year, then
Oh, that's a tremendous achievement, isn't it? That's a big lump sum in it to be able to go into help research. That makes a big difference.
Hopefully it does, yeah.
Now, how many of you are there in total, Gaz?
There's 6 in our team.
Yeah. So who will be missing today?
Well, Paul's missing.
Paul, and
he's the one who sets us up with this.
He sets it up.
this task, and he's Paul. Thanks very much.
And he arranged for his dad to be in hospital today.
Absolutely, he did.
So I could miss it. Well, listen, no,
Get well soon,
good luck
Dad.
to Paul and his dad.
Yeah, and then Stuart, who's listening, and Daz, who's probably in one of his castles at the moment somewhere.
It's a tremendous achievement, though, guys. I've got to say, 6 of you. Yeah. You've raised how much now over
around that 30,000 over the last 2 years.
That's a lot of money, and if you can get 20k this year, you're up to 50,000.
Right.
That is well done.
Yeah,
I really have tremendous admiration for what you're doing. I like swimming. I could never do what you've done. You know, I like going in the sea.
Yeah.
I like a little swim.
Yeah.
But to push it not the next day, but the next 20 stage, to be able to swim across the channel, there and back, through bad conditions, heavy waves, cold, dark,
jellyfish.
You know, a tremendous achievement, and I have great admiration for you.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
And congratulations on what you've achieved.
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.